let's go back to the Zoom machine and say hello to the one and only Anthony Showtime Pettis. There he is. What's up, Anthony? Joining us in beautiful Hawaii. That does not look like Milwaukee. I'll tell you that much.
Definitely not Milwaukee. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing great. I saw, your guy Damien hit me up to, have you on. Big week for you. I was happy, but then I saw that you were in Hawaii. I was like, this is really early in Hawaii. Is that cool with Anthony? But I guess you're a dad now, so you wake up early these days. You're a dad again.
Oh, yeah, we wake up. She wakes up at like 5 a.m. now, man. So yeah, I'm up early.
How did you feel about going back to the diapers and everything? Because I know you were a dad already, but to go all the way back to the beginning, how was that for you? To rewind the tape?
Yeah, it's different this time around, man. Technology definitely changed. Like these cameras, these breathing machines that tells you the baby's breathing. Like it's definitely different this time around. But now it's cool, man. It reminded me of like that love that I had when I first saw my first daughter. Like that as dads know what I'm talking about. But once you see your child, like it reminded you of that, and it brought me back to that moment again. And it feels good to be doing it again.
I saw a video that you posted of I believe it's your daughter like sucking on your cauliflower ear or like chewing on it. That's crazy, man. Does she do that a lot?
Yeah, all the time. It's weird. Like every time I'm holding her, especially on this side, it's like my right ear. That's the only one I got cauliflower on.
Right.
She's on this side. She like looks at it. And she goes right at it. It must feel good on the teething.
Yeah. Do you feel anything when she does that?
No, man, the ear's like pretty much done. Like there's no feeling in that ear at all. Even when I get haircuts, the barber can't even like push his ear down.
Wow. That is wild. That is amazing. Well, I'm very, very, very happy for you and happy that the baby is doing well. Like I said, a lot going on in your life. So let's go in order here. Showtime FC debut event this Friday in Lakeland, Florida. You're going to be on Fight Pass as well. Why did you want to start your own promotion?
Yeah, well, actually, this was going to happen last year, actually, in October. We were supposed to do it in Wisconsin, but everything with COVID just slowed everything down, and it just made everything, take a pause. Probably for the better part for me, there's a lot to work on with these fight shows. It's not as easy as everybody thinks it is or that it looks, I guess, that these shows make it look like. So, I think, just having my management company, all the fighters that I had in Milwaukee that I saw up and coming, myself, I used to fight in like corner bars, people smoking in the rooms. That's how I got my chance at the UFC and WEC and where I'm at now. So kind of just for me, it's like just giving these guys a platform that can show these bigger organizations what the local and the regional talent looks like. And I'm definitely going for the best of the best, not just like the guy who sells the most tickets or who has the biggest fan following at that stage. Now I'm bringing in guys from all over the place, even for this first card.
So your goal for 2022, how many shows do you want to put on?
4 to 5, depending on scheduling. I got my PFL tournament as well that I'm still doing, so that comes first. We're sneaking this one in there to start with, and we kind of got the year planned out. I got a great team of people that were in the industry that I made friends with, that I like the way they operate, that they perform, and in this side of the industry. So I got a good team behind me.
Last time we spoke about the management company. I want to ask you about that as well. But doing this, the promotion, the management. Was this always the goal for you when you got into MMA, that eventually you do all this stuff? Or was there something mid-career recently where you're like, I want to transition into this world? Because not everyone does this, obviously.
No, I think, having my little brother, behind me and him following in my footsteps and me guiding his career gave me a lot of experience on this side. And also, I've been in this since the beginning. I've seen the merger from the WEC to the UFC to WME to where it's at now, and PFL, Bellator, ONE FC coming in from Affliction days, from all these shows, So I'd like to see to have that experience and to know what works and what doesn't work. And I'm really looking not to compete on that big level. I'm going to the regional level to show to the big shows. Like these are whoever wins my championship belt. These are the next guys that are aligned for their shot at the big show.
So would it be fair, and I say this with respect, like to sort of compare Showtime FC, or at least what you want it to become, like sort of like an LFA?
Yeah, no, definitely. No, it's definitely respectful of that. When I look at like LFA, even all the local shows, like the guys that are operating on the more professional level, that give these athletes that are trying to make their way to the top, these bigger organizations, give them that platform. And I think, even with UFC Fight Pass, giving them the fans the opportunity to see that journey. Like, there's really no place to watch an MMA athlete make their way to the big shows. The UFC Fight Pass came around, and now you can kind of see a little glimpse into that. But I think it's going to get further and further along, just like these bigger other organizations.
So what's this Showtime kick bonus? They have to actually pull off the Showtime kick?
Yeah. We're still working that out, man. So I was talking with my team, and I'm like, yeah, I want to make this fun. And obviously, my fighting style speaks for itself. Showtime, my style, everybody knows I put on a show. So with my matchmaker, we're trying to make it exciting and trying to make it my own. So I think, yeah, we're gonna put some bonuses in there for these athletes that can land some fun things or something that makes it interesting. So I'm not gonna get into the details yet because I don't know exactly how I'm gonna play the structure out. I don't want to say something that's wrong, but the first fight show will have a fun fight structure bonus. Showtime kick will definitely be one of the bonuses, probably the top bonus.
That is amazing. How many fight on this first card on Friday? How many fights?
We're gonna have 5 on Fight Pass, but we're hoping we had 10 scheduled, but we'll see what falls off and what goes on. COVID's just messing. Man, it's really hard with COVID. I mean, honestly, right now it's probably the hardest time for the fight promotions to make these fights happen.
Right. And I think you just signed someone recently, like a Brazilian prospect that you were very excited about. I saw on your Instagram.
Yeah. Killer, man. Yeah, he's not fighting on this first card, but yeah, I mean, we got even like we were talking about the management company, but Scotty Stockman, one of my first guys, he actually came and tried out in Milwaukee, drove in and got picked up on my team. He's fighting on the PFL Contender Series coming up in March, so it's cool to see all this coming around full circle. I mean, that happened a year ago, and he's already like one of our guys, 2 of our guys are 2 steps away from the big show. We purposely went to the guys that really had no fights. Now I signed a lot of guys that just had no experience, that just had a hunger, that had some skill, and see who made it a year later. I think we signed like 82 guys, and there's probably like 16 to 20 left that actually made it all the way through that are getting opportunities now.
Wow. So how many guys do you have under the Showtime management group?
About 48. Oh, actually 52 as of
wow. 52?
Yeah. And they're all over talent wise. There's not guys that are like, we didn't go after like guys in the UFC, Bellator, PFL. We're trying to get guys that are up and coming, especially with my fight show in place. Now we have a place to showcase our talent. It all just makes sense.
Wow. Okay. And so some of the, not everyone who fights for Showtime FC is under that team, right?
Okay. Yeah, no, we're looking for, we're sparely putting our guys on our cards right now. We're definitely right now I'm trying to make the best fights for the fans that are watching UFC Fight Pass, the guys that are relevant right now and that are knocking on that door.
And just curious, because when I think of Showtime, obviously I think of Milwaukee. And I know you said October was the plan to do it in Milwaukee. Why did you choose Lakeland, Florida for the first show?
I think because, Florida is honestly the easiest place to put a show on right now. Right. And that's where all the leagues are going to Florida. Right. We had the arena set up for October in Milwaukee. I was in the Panther Arena, where the college right across the street from the Pfizer Forum, the new arena. Yeah. But just with the COVID protocols, the vaccines and everything, it was just hard to put a show together and make it profitable. Not even profitable, just sustainable to do another one. So we had to pull it back, and Florida was the place to go. Is
this more expensive than you thought it was going to be?
Most definitely. Yeah, I'm funding this one, all out of pocket of my own. But I hired, professionals that like I said, guys that I crossed paths with, and I saw their shows and I saw what they did. But yeah, it's definitely more expensive than I thought it would be, just based on everything, man. I see all this talk about fighter pay right now, and it's just weird to see when a budget's made for a fight show, how much of it's geared towards fighter pay, even at this level of fighting, to see how much is available for fighter pay. And it's just, without that budget and that business flowing, there's no platform for these fighters to actually fight. So, I see both sides of it right now. I'm seeing both sides of it.
Yeah. And so in addition to all of this, you're still fighting, obviously, and you're going to be a part of the PFL season 155, yes?
Correct.
When you think back to last year with the PFL, how do you feel about last year?
It was horrible, man. Now that I'm talking about seasons, I can talk about my season. Last season was probably the worst season I ever had. I didn't know what to expect. Coming from the format that I fought on, which was all right, take a fight, take my time off as much as I need to get my body right, and then get back into a camp, fight again. And I know it was my timeline. Whereas in the PFL, you take your fight, you got 8 weeks to get ready for the next one, 8 weeks to get ready for the next one, no matter what happens in the fight. So strategically, I came in there trying to be, Showtime and do these cartwheel kicks and all these crazy things against the first fight. And it didn't play in my favor. I almost caught him, but I lost all 3 rounds pretty much. And then, the second fight, I'll go in there and fight in Haus, the champ, the guy who just won. I really focused on boxing because the canvas in the PFL was super slippery. I was slipping every time I threw a high kick or I threw any kind of kick. So I never fought in that kind of canvas or that style of canvas for a long time. I've been fighting on the UFC canvas for a while, but for my whole career, pretty much. I was used to that. It's a lot of new things that happen. But I think the biggest thing was the format, just not having that time in between fights to bounce back and get your body right to jump back in there. It was different for me. So this time around, I kind of understand that all the bulk of your training has to be done at the front end, and the fights have to be strategically planned out. Like my first fight, I can't go out there. If I don't get the knockout, I better make sure my body's healthy so I can get into this next fight 8 weeks later and feel the way I should be feeling for a fight.
I feel like this is a silly question to ask someone who has done it all in this sport, but like there was a lot of buzz about you coming over there, the face of the promotion, all that stuff. Did any of that get to you?
Yes, all of it got to me.
Really?
I'm telling you. The biggest thing that got to me would be the quarantine. So we had to go there and stay there 17 days, inside this little bubble that they made for us, which was dope. I mean, the bubble was amazing. Whatever they spent a lot of money on that setup for us to be, make sure the tournament can play on. But sitting in that hotel room and away from my family, my girl was about to give birth, it was just like a lot of that play that was like, made me not want to be mentally there in that hotel room. Like it kind of felt like I was in jail. I'm like, bro, like if this is how jail feels, I'd never want to go to jail. Like I was like, I can't deal with it. So like doing both of those quarantines, it was like mentally, it gave me time to think about everything. It was nerve wracking.
So by the end, you're probably like you just want to get the hell out of there, right? Like 17 days is a freaking lot, man. Holy smokes!
I had my bags packed before fight week even started. I had all my stuff ready to go.
And do you think that kind of made you overthink things and get at you're just kind of alone with your thoughts you could train, but for 17 nights alone, that's a lot.
I mean, I've been working on my mental, training a lot these last couple of years, but like to be there with your thoughts for 17 days and without my family and without the amenities that I'm used to of a fight week, being able to at least do a run outside and cut some weight. I had to we had like scheduled time for treadmills. It was just a lot to adjust to and to, from coming from the UFC to the PFL with all the COVID rules, there was just a lot of new adjustments that, didn't go my way. And, I understand now where I'm at. Like I can't change the past. All I can do is change what happens this year. And I'm definitely more aware of how these seasons work now this time around.
Are they doing that again? Have they told you? Like, are you?
I got vaccinated. They sent out an email and they were like, "Hey, unvaccinated athletes." I think it was actually like December, and I'm like, "Yo, I'm not doing that again." That's something I got vaccinated just to not do the quarantine.
Wow. Okay, that's how much you didn't like it. But so this time it's just normal fight week, right? No more.
I hope so. I mean, we haven't had no other emails. I mean, their communications is like via email. So like the last communication was sending your vaccine cards with your corners, and then I was thinking they were going to respond with like what the protocols were, but nothing yet.
Okay. Do you know when your next fight is, your first fight of the new season?
Well, their season starts the end of April, the last Wednesday of April. I want to say the 20th or 27th, and then it goes into May. So one of the 3 dates will be the lightweight date. So I'm getting ready for the last week of April.
Do you know who the first foe is?
I don't know. I mean, that's the crazy thing about this style as well. Like you kind of just have to get ready because like you don't know who's in your division, whether it's a wrestler, a kickboxer, the champ from last year, who you don't know who you're facing. So you kind of just have to get yourself ready to the best of your ability. And then whoever they pop up with, you'll have 8 weeks to get ready for them, and boom, you fight them, on to the next one.
So I don't know if you saw this, but last week, old foe of yours, Jeremy Stevens, signed with PFL. You guys fought once before. You beat him. And so I was wondering how you felt about maybe potentially running that back with him.
No problem. Honestly, I want to run back the ones that I lost. I want Clay Collard and Haush Manafio. But no, Stevens makes it fun. Stevens is one of them guys that just can knock out anybody if he connects. So, I think him adding him to the division makes it fun. But my real focus is on the guys that I lost to. Haush Manafio or Clay Collard. Both of them guys I want to see next season.
So he was on my show last week, Stevens, talking, announcing the signing. And I obviously asked him about running it back with you because I would think that he would want to since he lost to you. He wasn't very nice with what he said. And I have the clip if you want to hear it, but I actually feel bad playing it because he said some mean things. So I don't know if you saw the clip.
I think I saw some stuff on Instagram about cheeseburger cheeks or something.
Yeah, what's up with that, man?
He got paid too much or something.
Yeah,
man. I mean, whatever he wants. Like, look at my UFC career and WEC career, and look at his UFC career, WEC career. I mean, his career. Like, I beat him, so of course he has to talk shit. Like he has to say something. But I'm undefeated in rematches, so if he wants, if we run it back, I'm looking forward to seeing him again. If he wants to see how how these cheeseburger cheeks feel. My chin has been tested and it's proven top notch, baby.
I love it. Do you like what they're doing, PFL? Like, do you feel like?
Oh man,
yeah.
I love where the MMA everywhere where MMA's at right now, man. When I was up and coming, there was only 2 places to be at, and then some other places started popping up. We had Bellator, Affliction, and some short ran stints. But like right now, like PFL is here to stay. They're not going nowhere. They're spending money in the right places. They're attacking the fan base from a different angle, because like these hardcore MMA fans understand, all right, if you win a lot of times, you might become a top 10 contender, then go and become a champion, and you're the best in the world. Whereas PFL has a real season format played out. It happens every year, a new champion. The average fan that follows a season, like a baseball season, a basketball season, a hockey team, like they understand preseason, playoffs, championship, new season, preseason. So they're attacking that side of it. I think they're trying to figure it out and how to like make it work for MMA athletes. But it's definitely becoming more entertaining. They're making bigger names, signing bigger names to attack the MMA market. But they have the right people in place to grow this thing.
I don't know this for sure, but I would imagine a lot of people probably hit you up, other fighters, like, what's it like? Is this worth considering? Should I consider them? I feel like you were one of the first guys to make the jump. Do a lot of people hit you up and ask you about your experiences there and how you feel about it?
Oh yeah, a lot of guys. Yeah, I mean, right when I made the announcement, I had my text message was full of fighters, and I think that's what kind of the thing that's wrong with fighters. They don't want to talk to each other about pay and like finances, and like it's such a new sport that they haven't got to that spot yet. They're competing with each other, like who can be here and what. And I've been to that spot as well. Like I was going for my title run. I became the champion. I was on the Wheaties box. I lost a couple in a row. I felt all the aspects of I think a mixed martial arts career could feel. And I'm still here, and I think that speaks for itself. And I created a brand in this this space, and I'm playing that to the best of my ability, man. Whether it's the Fight Show, the management company, my gyms, just everything I can get from this.
Speaking, while we're talking about the fighter pay and all that, what do you think of what Jake Paul is saying about MMA these days?
Well, at first I didn't know what he was doing. Like when he was just coming over and causing ruckus. I'll tell you one thing. He knows how to get people to look at stuff. Like his audience is insane. He literally became the face of boxing in 1 year. Everybody's talking about, even the boxers in Vegas that I'm training with are talking about Jake Paul. So it's like he's doing something right. But I think now that he's like advocating for fighter pay and for health benefits, I stand behind that, man. Me as being a fighter and as an athlete and knowing what happened to some of my friends and the guys that I looked up to, and seeing like Spencer Fisher, like seeing his documentaries, like, man, I trained with Spencer Fisher when I was 18, 19 coming up, and to see where he's at now, I was like, damn, that's scary. So yeah, anybody that's advocating for any benefits for fighters, or at least fighters that's even talking about fighter pay together, we all should be able to talk how much money you making, how much money you making, how are they treating you? That should be somehow there, but it's not there yet.
And your brother made a really good business decision going over to Bellator and getting paid. And look what's happened to him. He's one of my breakout fighters of 2021. Could you tell me you were home when he fought Horiguchi, right? You weren't there, correct?
Yeah. And I was in Vegas.
What's going through your mind those first 3 rounds? What are you thinking?
Frustration. It was weird because we've been there. Both of us talk about that all the time, like losing a fight and like breaking rank or breaking your game plan. And I saw him started taking more risk. I'm like, all right, he's starting to get a little more riskier. He started opening his style up a little more, but it was too late at that point. I was like, oh man, he has 2 rounds now. He has to get the finish. And to see the way he did it. Well, after speaking to him after, he was like, he remembered Crawford, when Crawford's coach was like, yo, you're down. You got to get the finish. His last fight. And he's like, what? I'm down? Like, what? I'm down? And like, he went out there and got that knockout. Serge said that went through his head. Like right when Duke was like, yo, you're down 3 rounds. You got to go out there and get this. You got to get the job done now. He's like, when that moment went through his head, and then he just went out there and, man, fucking beautiful knockout, spin back fist from
oh my god, one of the
I don't know where I came from. That was beautiful.
Comeback. Were you freaking out? Well, like, how did you react when he pulled that off?
Well, I had money on it, so I was double happy, bro.
So is that legit? That picture that you posted, that was legit?
All my bets are legit, of course.
Well, no, because people were calling you out there like, oh, it wasn't the final betting slip.
Yeah, because I use William Hill, and William Hill takes forever to load. So if you don't like Snapchat it before, screenshot the picture before it goes through, it says confirmed, and boom, put you right back into the actual like place to bet again. So I just screenshot it before I put it through.
So can I ask, how much did you win?
He was a favorite, so it was like, man, I bet so much. I think 17 grand. I won 7 off of a $10,000 bet, but I had him parlayed with Manny as well, so I lost the parlay for 10. It didn't work out as well.
Damn, 17,000 on your bro. That's a lot. Like I'm sure you're nervous
I've got some big hits on bets, man. I've got some. I think my biggest payout on sports bets is like my last one was like 72,000.
What?
A 5-teamer, 72,000. 5-teamer.
MMA?
MMA and boxing, half and half.
Which one was it?
It was a 5-teamer. It started in like October and it went all the way through December. So the last guy got hurt, so I won in like November. So the last guy didn't count.
Oh, really? That worked? Okay. Which fight? Do you remember the fights?
I don't, bro. I have to go look at my sports history.
Are you a big? I mean, clearly you are a big sports gambler.
Well, no, when I feel it for sure for like fighting, you know, for like fights, especially my teammates. Last year I killed it on my teammates. I mean, Rafian with the upset, Gerald with all his wins, Serge with his wins. Like I've killed it on my teammates last year.
Bilal?
If I feel the plays, Bilal, of course.
Yeah.
One on Bilal. Yeah, we had some good wins.
Yo, Rafian is quite the character. When he showed up on that broadcast talking about the taco meat and stuff like that, I didn't realize he was such a character. That guy is great.
Man, me and Rafian had a lot of talks back in our locker room, bro. So we had in roofing sport, we have a fighter locker room that's like in the back. It's like this dungeon. It's like the floor's not even finished. It's like just a couple lockers put together, the pro locker room. But me and Rafian had some talks back there, bro. I'm like, yo, you got to get out once it's your time. Like you got to let your personality shine. Like be you and watch how everything changes. And he's doing it. To see him doing it, I'm like, yeah, exactly what I was talking about, bro. So yeah, a lot of things like that is why I started this management company. Like my fighters, I give them like, I'm trying to give these guys the insight on that side of the sport, not just like this is who you're fighting. This is how much money you're making. Good luck. And we'll talk to you if you make it to the big show.
And do you like your goal is to take them to the big show, right? You don't want to just hand them off once they get to the big show, right?
No, well, our goal is to start them from the ground and take them to the big show. Yes. Okay. We're on our journey on that. So we're kind of doing it together. I mean, if Scotty makes the PFL, he'd be fighting the PFL with me. Which is crazy.
That is wild.
One of my fighters fighting with me in my own organization, which is cool.
And so can you give us a name who you think will make it to the big show first? I mean, he's in the PFL challengers, but like actual UFC, Bellator, PFL, who do you think gets there first? Do you think it's Scotty?
Well, I think Scotty has the best chance. I mean, he's next month, so I think he's the next guy in line. You know, if he wins this fight, he's in, and he does it the way he fights. Dude's slick, man. I like his style. Like you gotta watch him and see how he fights.
What's his last name?
Stockman,
Scotty Stockman. All right. So to recap, Showtime FC first event this Friday. UFC Fight Pass. Do we know the time?
Yeah, it's going to be 5 p.m. On the West Coast, 8 p.m. on the East Coast.
Okay, and
then also it's Anthony Pettis Fighting Championship. We're dealing with a naming
issue
right now with but I'm telling you, like I can't catch a break. It's always something. It's like we got the place, we got the tickets out, we got everything going, and then we got a letter that we couldn't use Showtime. So
what is it from the kickboxing group?
Nah.
Okay.
It's from Showtime. I can't really speak on what was said, but like it was from Showtime. But yeah, so right now we're rocking with Anthony Pettis Fighting Championships until we figure out what's happening.
I don't hate it. APFC.
I am, and I'm with it too, man. I'm just excited to give these guys a platform to showcase their skill sets on.
I hope it doesn't deter you. I hope you're not saying like, oh man, screw this. I don't need this stress.
Not
I think
at
it's
all,
great
man.
what you're doing.
I mean, that's just one of the many things that happened, to get this first show going. But no, we're here. Like we're 1 week away. I'm excited to get to Florida and get this thing going.
Okay, and it's this Friday, right?
This Friday.
Yeah, this Friday. Okay, Anthony Pettis Fighting Championship. Sorry, I didn't get that memo. And then you got the Showtime management, and you said 52 fighters, and you're back PFL maybe end of April and maybe early May, something like that. And
hopefully I fight Stevens.
Yeah, you got cheeseburger cheeks. I mean, come on. This guy talking about cheeseburger cheeks. Congrats on everything, Anthony. Thanks for doing this while you're on vacation, and congrats on the new child as well. Much love.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
All right. Talk to you soon. There he is, Anthony Pettis joining us. A lot going on in his life, as I said. And the guy's doing big things, big moves. He's like the Oscar De La Hoya of MMA.